Welcome back, boys and some girls. After finishing Mother Machine, I feel that I am ready to review the game and share with you the experience that I had with the game. Just a small heads up, if you want a more detailed video or a video more just moment to moment, then you can go watch the Let's Play that I did on the game, a very short one. So, Mother Machine is a game that in hindsight, I can tell you that is just not for me. It is a hub game with repeating missions that you can do alone or with a group of randoms or friends. In the game, you will be running around maps to collect crystals and other resources to customize your creature or unlock new powers to use in said levels. From one end to the other, the game took me about 10 hours to complete, and I finished almost the non-existent story and made my creature look however I wanted to, with some extra currency to unlock if I want anything else. I will spoil the whole story, so probably skip to the timestamp on the screen if you actually care for it. So the whole story is that the machine who made you is an AI made by humans, that she decided to basically make creatures so she won't go crazy unlike other AIs who didn't do so and did go crazy and are now fighting against your mother. In the game, you will meet the sisters, you will fight against them a bunch of times, and you will be shown maybe 20 lines of story dialogue, and the ending will just be nobody died and everybody's happy, the end. Personally, I find this extremely boring and very shallow, and the storytelling really didn't help, as most of the time you're doing exactly the same things 10 levels in a row, and only then you will be doing the same level again, but now you have 5 more lines of dialogue, and this is for some reason being called the main mission. Extremely disappointing story that ironically feels like it was written by an AI, is what I wanna say. But I actually did a small test and actually let ChatGPT write a story for me with the same kind of prompts for Mother Machine that I would guess they said. And I got a much more interesting story, so I'm kind of retracting my comment about an AI script. For the gameplay, I want to describe this game as a side-scroller adventure game, but I don't really feel that it fits well, so let's just explain what the game is like and that's it. You start in a hub where you can choose from multiple levels and modes to play with either people or by yourself. Each mode is kind of similar because they're all based around completing an objective and then extracting back into the hub. In the levels themselves, you're going to be climbing, jumping and attacking a variety of things, but after the maybe first 2 to 3 missions, everything stays pretty similar regarding the environmental hazards or the enemies, besides maybe toward the very end where you meet some drones. The game is best played with the controller, but it can also be a bit annoying because, for example, you need to hold right trigger to climb, and if you need to hold onto a rope to gather your stamina, then you actually need to hold your finger down. Now for a short gameplay session, you wouldn't mind, but if you had to play it for a longer time, then it would be very annoying to just having to hold down buttons. With that being said, I do believe that the decision to play as a weird goblin creature is a good one, and actually turns the rather repetitive gameplay into something that is much more manageable. I said so during my game time, and I still do believe that there's just too much thought went into the multiplayer aspect of the game and not the actual game itself. Because there's just not a lot to do, nothing to do. Even if you enjoy jumping and climbing, there comes a point where you have done everything and you have seen everything a million times. And by then you're just going to be ready to stop playing the game. Let me actually get to the point again when I said that the game is not really for me, and you should take that into consideration when you actually listen to my opinion. For the actual player base, I believe that the game is mediocre. For me, it's much less than that. Others may find the focus on multiplayer such a great thing and the short repeating levels to be positive, but I'm not that kind of person, and that's kind of the reason why I tried so hard to play the game alone and I was really bothered by it. Back to the actual gameplay, you do get some skills that are called mutations, and they use your hunger, which you can fill by eating literally anything around the map, besides some power cells. The skills themselves, or mutations as they're called, are basically healing, attacking, or any other basic things that you can expect from similar games, but you do have some additional skills for the environment. Things like light or pushing teammates up to a ledge. However, they are useless. You don't need anything besides healing, and it's not like you actually are forced to use any of the skills to complete the levels, but they make some aspect of the levels a bit shorter if you intend to clear every single thing on the map. And due to the fact that you can only have one mutation at a time, it is heavily pushed that you're gonna play with other people if you actually want to have a lot of power in your team and make your levels much more convenient. But you don't need to, because there is just no reason to try and complete everything there is unless you really want to be a completionist, because you actually gain nothing from it after you already customize your creature to your own liking. And due to what I said previously about mutations being most likely useless, you don't really need to work hard to unlock them either, as the best mutation, the healing, comes from the tutorial, so you don't really need to work for it. All in all, the gameplay is very mediocre and heavily reliant on multiplayer and friends to cover for what lack of system there are. From what little I interacted with other people, it seems to be like some players really enjoy playing and interacting with one another, so it might just be that the game is very much not for me and I'm just saying complete bullshit. Now for this segment, I'm going to be calling this segment Vibes, because visuals or feelings or music don't really pass along what I'm trying to explain. When I'm playing the game and I'm completing the same maps again and again, with the same looking rooms all over again, it doesn't really help me that the music also repeats again and again. You can change the backgrounds of the caves into something that's a little bit different, but it's pretty much the same, at least to me. It just feels the same, kind of looks the same. So with the visual, the music and everything together, it doesn't really contribute to the whole vibe of the game. And due to this fact, I couldn't really connect to what little of the story there was. Fidelity wise, sure, the models looks okay, they look fine, and so does the environment, but it doesn't really help. For performance, I'm playing on a 3080 and an i9 CPU, and I didn't really have any problem beside maybe one or two crashes. I did see that the game is heavily using my computer though, which I did not expect from such a small game. Monetization wise, the game costs $15 and is on a 10% discount until April 2nd, I think, with the DLC that also came out on the release day that is free right now until April 9th, and after that it will be, again, it's gonna cost something, I just don't know how much. And the DLC itself is just a bunch of skills that you can unlock if you really want to, but they're also just as useless as the main skills. In summary, I would refund the game if I could, just not my kind of a game. I completely expected something else after playing the demo, and I guess the blame is completely on me from having these kind of expectations from a new released game. For the actual crowd of the game, I believe that you should wait for a discount and don't really expect this to be the next Helldiver or basically any other hub game, because it's not. It's just everything is extremely basic and very shallow. Don't look for depth because there isn't. All in all, if you got the cash, go for it. If you don't, then I suggest just skipping this one or maybe waiting for a big discount if you really want to play the game. But that's pretty much it. I don't really have a lot to say about the game because there is not a lot of game to game in the game. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this and if you did, thank you. If you didn't, let me know why so I can improve. Besides, keep us safe. See you next one. Bye bye.